All right, we are live with another episode of Business Ventures Podcast. Today, I've got a very special guest now. This is Alex Hefner. Alex Hefner has been a lawyer, got his law degree, and then went off and he does now what I say everybody's American dream is. He is a YouTuber by trade. He created his own business, and he sits there and watches movies and reacts to them. Right?
Yes. Yeah, there's some more that goes into it, but that's what I like to say. Everyone says, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I just watch movies and talk shit, really." So that's that's what I talk shit about them. Can I curse on here, by the way? Is
Yes,
that cool?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Talk
All
as you
right.
please. I
Solid.
have
All right.
entrepreneurs in here. My last episode was Raymond Little, and he was talking about his life being in prison for 12 years. So yeah, he definitely cursed a lot. So
Dang.
we're
Okay.
all good with the curse words.
Solid. Awesome. Yeah, dude. No, it's a blessing, man. Getting to be able to wake up every day and watch movies and entertain and be a goofy fucking whack job, and that's like my natural state. So it's a blessing, man. Be able to entertain people and do my thing.
Yeah, well, I want to get into that later, but
Yeah, yeah.
basically what I've started this with and kind of how I start this podcast is you're successful. You're living the new age American dream. What
Mhm.
generation are you? Like Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Y?
I
I don't even
am
know what that
a
is.
millennial. I'm a millennial.
Millennial. Okay,
Yeah.
millennial. So there you go. It's every millennial's dream to do what you do. But how did you get there? Like, where did you start? And let's go all the way back to growing up. I mean, you're from Houston originally, right?
Yep. So born and raised in Houston. I mean like Webster, so like little tiny little podunk ass town outside of Houston. But yeah, I mean dating back to like content creation is whenever I was probably in let's see, seventh, eighth grade, I had some like buddies around the neighborhood, and out of like we'd go on the jet ski and like jump on the trampoline and stuff like that. But then also some of the things we did was like grab our cameras and go out and just like make these stupid little skit videos, because that's when YouTube started like really. Whenever I first learned about it was in 2007. I don't know whenever it really got started. Might have been around that time, but just got obsessed with it. I literally remember being on the bus and my friend was like, "Have you heard of this website YouTube?" And I was like, "How like?" Letter U. He's like, no, YOU is like spelling it out. He was like, it's this crazy website where you can go watch a bunch of different videos. And I just watched a bunch of people make cool skits and funny, weird comedy things. And I was like, that looks awesome. It's like, let's do that. So my buddies and I would like go do magic trick skits and like comedy skits in front of our neighbors and like upload them to YouTube just for the hell of it. And I
Please
had
tell
that
me you still have
realization
these videos. Like you've got to
somewhere,
have these videos somewhere.
somewhere. I
I want
need
to
to
see
like
Alex Hefner does magic tricks in seventh grade.
I need to. I have that somewhere, dude. I need to hit my cousin up. But I after that ended up just being like something that I felt like I just did for the hell of it. Um, and then fast forward a long time to law, high school, college, law school. Uh, After my first semester of law school is whenever I really wanted to start making YouTube videos. And throughout that time, I was a consumer. I was just watching copious amounts of YouTube videos because I'm not really like a party type. I never went out to go drink and like party and stuff. So I was the dude like sitting at home playing video games and watching YouTube videos. Um, so after my first semester of law school, I started making videos, and
Well, let's back up a little bit, right? Okay, first of
okay,
all,
all right,
you're a kid still, right?
yeah, yeah.
And so you're filming, but
Mm.
like the cameras. Like I remember when I was in like seventh grade, the cameras were stupid expensive. I mean, just a
Yeah,
ridiculous price. They're like this big too, right? You can't even fit them in
yeah,
my screen, but they're huge. Like you carry them
massive.
around on your shoulder, massive. So what? So you had cameras back then that you just carry around. This was like, was it something you just liked YouTube? And, or you wanted to be on YouTube? You wanted to be cool like the YouTubers? Like I remember the
I had
Vine thing was going around. Is that around
this.
that time, or is
No, dude, this
that
was
well
like
before?
well
Okay.
before Vine. I mean, maybe Vine was like I don't. I think Musically turned into TikTok. I don't know. It was before I even knew that you could potentially make any sort of living with YouTube. I didn't know
Yeah.
that what it could turn into. Obviously, I didn't have that foresight, and for some reason I was just like I think it'd be. I enjoyed watching people make comedy skits and put them on YouTube. I thought they were
Hold on
funny.
one second, Alex. I got my battery's about to die. Real life, we're content creator. How many times does yours die in the middle of like filming something big though? Probably not so much
That's ha
anymore.
well, I mean, at the beginning, that it happened more times than you could think, and then you get a dummy battery that plugs into your camera and then plugs into the wall, so you have a continuous stream of battery.
But those things like eventually fuck up too.
They
But
do,
yeah,
but
we'll get into that. I want to get into
more
more of
fuck
this
ups
stuff
happen.
later.
Okay.
Right,
All right.
right. Okay.
All right. So let's backtrack. So I just enjoyed watching people make comedy skits, and I thought it was hysterical. I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool to like have this place where you could have a vault of your videos that you make, and I for some reason just wanted to make videos. I used to make them with my cousin, and we would show our family, and if they laughed, I'd be like, "Oh, this is solid!" Like I made a cool little video that my family laughed at, and editing. I started dabbling in editing while like adding what was it, Nickelback, like the "I miss you" like songs in my videos, and like
We
started.
had Nickelback magic shows. Oh yeah, we really have to see more of
those
these things.
those didn't necessarily go together, but yeah, man, I don't know. I think that it was just something I was passionate about doing. I guess I liked that creative aspect, and I always like to be goofy and make people laugh. And the fact that you could kind of capture that in a video, again, no foresight to be like, hopefully this could turn into something that people watch, and maybe it could snowball to some type of career. It was just like I just like to do it. I was like,
Right.
we're not we're not jet skiing today. Like let's make a video and do some weird shit. Like it was fun.
Well, so there's other stuff that goes into that, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
There's an Alex Hefner that I know, and you don't drink, like you don't do any of that,
Right.
and it's
Right.
not
Right.
like one of these where I'm an addict or something like that. You just chose never to drink. So
Yeah.
I would think, knowing you and just a little bit that you've told me, that kind of plays into that journey, because like you said, you weren't going out and partying.
Mm.
Talk us about those decisions, and how do you think that affected like growing up, grabbing that camera, filming those films?
Yeah. That's a fascinating question. Never really like put two and two together like that. I mean, the choice not to drink, like that stemmed from my mom tremendously struggling with alcohol, and me just being the child in the household that saw one of my parents struggling with alcohol so much that it like the cause of so many fights and so many like
Yeah.
so much turmoil and so much stress to the point. And whenever you're a kid, you feel like every other family in the world has their shit together and no one
Yeah.
fights and everyone's perfect. And you're like, what's wrong with my family? Like, why are we screaming
Why
at
are
each
we
other?
so fucked up?
Exactly. And then you realize that that's very normal. But that was like the childhood I grew up with. It just like scared me. I guess I just kind of like had a risk reward type of mentality where I was like, the or cost benefit, whatever. It's like the potential risk of alcohol ruining my life, like I saw it first happen
Yeah.
firsthand with my mom. I was like, I don't feel like it justifies the benefit of like hanging out with your buddies and doing goofy shit. Because I was like, naturally, I'm goofy. I feel like I have achieved like
Alcohol.
the drunk self without being drunk. I just like do stupid shit anyway. Uh, but thinking about it a little bit more, I think that like on later on in my life, I realized that I do have like an addictive personality, which is kind of how I've handled other things in my life, like college days, like smoking weed or whatever. But even like my work ethic with YouTube, it's like this is all I want to do. I
Yeah.
just obsess over it. So looking back in hindsight, I'm like, thank God I didn't drink because I feel like it could be fun. And the way that I handle things, like I could totally foresee it being an issue.
Yeah.
So now at this point in my life, I'm just kind of like, if I haven't done it at this point, I'd rather just kind of have the wear the badge that I've never done it. What am I doing now? Especially whenever I'm at the point where making
Yeah.
videos is my career, and I'm like, I love doing this more than anything. So much so that living in Hawaii, which I'm sure we'll get into, like my wife has to
Yeah.
drag me out of the house to go have fun, and I'm like, the most fun I have is making videos, and now I make money doing it. So the most fun thing in my life makes money. So now you're dragging me away from doing what I love, but also from making money. So it's like
Yeah, it's like a double
super,
whammy
super
there.
hard, dude. Super hard to get me to do anything else. But yeah, that I think it's the addictive personality that has made me more
That's
successful than
awesome.
not.
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, there's a difference between a wide like wisdom and well, there's a word out there, I can't remember, but a wise person learns from others' mistakes, right? That's
Yeah,
truly
yeah.
wise. It's like a Gandhi saying too. I didn't just make that up. I thought I made it up for the longest time, but no, a wise person learns from others' mistakes.
Yeah.
So you're truly wise beyond your years, Hefner. I mean, because you were able to watch something else and say, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like that. Whereas, like most people, they have to go through that to learn that. So wow, I mean that has a lot to do with entrepreneurship. Just being smart enough to make those decisions from an early age. I think
Yeah.
especially the business that you decided to go into that has a lot to play with it. Um, I also think it would be really funny one day to have an Alex Hefner drunk reacts, right? If you ever run out of movies and things, just start drinking and react to
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. And then my downfall would be that that's successful, and then I have to drink for every other video.
You'd be drunk for every video now.
Yeah. That would be
Yeah,
wild.
don't do that. That's a bad idea. But I'll put that little devil out there.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
Alex
It's a
Hefner.
thought. We'll put a
Yeah.
pin in that for sure. That's
Put it- Oh man. But another
but
thing is like so later on in life, and maybe we'll go into your college first, right? So what
okay.
is it? So you're loving YouTube,
Mhm.
you're kicking ass as a child, but then you instead of exploring that, instead of going into that, you went to college. Did you go straight to college knowing that you wanted to be an attorney, or like where
No.
does this come from? That's to me, that's kind of the strangest thing. It's like,
The
hey, let's go get
attorney?
my law degree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How did that happen?
So, well, like I said, growing up, YouTube was just something that it was like playing baseball. It was like, I like to play baseball. I like to make videos. I like to jump on the trampoline. I like to do this, go on the boat, whatever. It was just like one of the interests. But I think at that time in my life growing up, I loved sports. Like I was adamant in my brain. I was like, I will play baseball in the MLB. And then like I tore my shoulder and got fucking hurt and like had to transition from baseball to track. And once I did that in my brain, I was like, I'm going to the fucking Olympics. Like that's 100%. That's what I'll do. Like I printed out Olympics 2016 with like the times that I wanted to run in track and put them all over my wall. Like I was obsessive about it. And tore my fucking hamstring. So like I loved sports, but they did not love me back. But that was very much so like what I wanted my life to be like is some sort of professional or, advanced athlete. Um,
If anybody's watching this, Hefner may not look like the most athletic person, but I promise you, if you meet him, he's tall, he's built right for these sports, right? So I could see you being a good baseball player. I mean, how tall are you, Hefner? Just so you can tell
six
everybody who's
four,
watching.
six
He's
four.
6'4", right? So
Yeah,
basketball, you
yeah.
could have hooped pretty well as well, right? So.
If only I had those skills. Um, but yeah, so I started doing, I was super into sports. And so much so that it like led up to my freshman year of college where I went to UTSA my freshman year and then moved over to UT and graduated in Austin. But at UTSA, like I was still trying to walk onto the track team. Um, and that fell through. So I kind of, lost purpose, I guess, in my life where I was like, I don't really know what I want to do. Like this athlete thing fell through. I like started dabbling into music and have no musical talent, no musical ability, nothing. But I was still like trying to make music at a time in my life, which was cringy to think about. Uh, I will never show those to anybody. But
You got to, man. More and more stuff you got to start
that's not
posting, I'm
happening.
telling you.
That's not happening.
So you're like obsessive though. You've got this obsessive personality, which again,
Yeah,
from previous
100%.
guests, multimillionaire, super successful guests that I've had on the show, they talk about this ADD obsessive type personality where they focus on one thing and that's all they focus on.
Yeah,
So now you're having that pattern throughout your life as you're
right.
growing up, where you become obsessed with YouTube and then sports and but you're at UTSA, so you're just doing basics essentially.
Basic
And you,
shit. Yeah, yeah.
yep.
So sports fell through, and then UTS at first year, everyone's taking the same shit. Like everyone's taking the same classes. You don't really have to focus in on anything. And once I got to UT, and the second, third year started coming around, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I want to do. What is happening? I come from a family of doctors, so initially I was like, I'll just follow suit and be a doctor. So like started majoring in biology, started that as my major, and then I like looked at all the course lists and like all the shit I was gonna have to do, and I was like, I don't want to do any of that. It sounds like trash. And the honest to God's truth is like I landed on a law degree because I was focused on one, wanting some sort of prestige, two, wanting like a high paying job, and in my mind, like without knowing anything, I was like, lawyers seem to make a lot of money, and I liked watching. Again, here goes. I liked watching the videos on YouTube of like people that know their rights talking to police, like, nah, according to this court case, like you can't search me because of this, and I was like, that's fucking cool. Like, I want that knowledge. So then I pursued that with like kind of a shot in the dark. No lawyer in my family, no like real idea of what it would take or what direction I wanted to go in. And I was like, I could get some prestige, make some money. Like, let's fucking do it. I'm down. So I started down that path, and then thankfully during my law school career, that's whenever I started doing YouTube and taking that a little bit more seriously.
So you started doing YouTube seriously in law school because you have so much
Yeah.
free time in law school, right?
I'm telling you, dude, like a lot of people in law school, it's tedious, man. So like my first semester, I didn't do anything except come home and like read court cases. Like I did my work properly, how somebody should attack law school. And I got on the dean's list. Like that was my best
Yeah.
semester. And as my YouTube continued to grow, my grades went down. So it's like you could tell what I was focusing on. But
Right.
yeah, so like but in law school, right, you're reading copious amounts of cases. Like it's mind numbing the amount of reading you have to do. So a lot of people did turn like, all right, like we're gonna go, read cases and then we're gonna go to the bar or whatever, like let some steam off. And I don't do that. So I was like, I just ended up trying to make YouTube videos in my free time. I was like, let me just do this. I like watching them. I don't think obviously there are people far more skilled with natural talent than me, so there's that, but I was like, most of these people don't have some specialty skill that I don't have. Like they're just putting the work in. So let me
Yeah.
just fucking work harder than them or work the equal amount and see what could happen. I always felt like I was goofy enough or quirky enough that like if enough eyes got on me, then I feel like something could catch. And that was the dilemma. It's like how do I get as many eyes on me as possible? And that ended up being the new mission.
I love that. I love the fact that like YouTube is just lingering there
The
throughout
whole
like
time, yeah,
every
yeah.
point in your life, right? But it's more of this hobby that you enjoy. Where
And
did
more
you
of a
go to law school? Yeah.
consumption, right? So like throughout all my life, whenever I was bored, I'd pop YouTube open. I went to law school in Houston, South Texas College of Law, Stickle as they call it, STCL, downtown, smack dab center of downtown Houston, right across the street from the Toyota Center. It was a really cool time, actually. I like that time
That's
of my
good.
life.
What was
Yeah.
that like a 2 year or 4 year or how long did you go to? I know like nowadays it's kind of like you can do an accelerated law school, you can do it however
Yeah,
else.
there's a
What is that
bunch of
like?
different approaches you can take. I think the traditional one is 3 years, and that's what I did. So my family kind of pushed school on me, like my mom and sister after college, where I wasn't sure if I wanted to go into law school. They're like, if you take a break, you're probably not going to go back. Just fucking do it. And I was like, all right, easy for y'all to say. You don't have to take out $200,000 in loans to go, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I did that. I went to graduated high school, graduated college, immediately went to law school. 3 years later, graduated, passed the bar on the first try. Thank God, because I wouldn't have been able to take that test again. Uh, so yeah, 3 years.
Was the bar harder than law school?
Oh God, yeah, dude. Like the bar was a fucking nightmare. It was over the course of your 3 years in law school, you learn all different types of law, obviously. And the bar exam, whenever I took it, they've kind of changed it now, but the bar exam is 3 days covering every single type of law you can imagine. So at this point, you kind of know the most law you'll ever know because if you could think about it, you're kind of you know a lot, but I always describe it as like an inch deep and a mile wide. Like you know a lot of different laws,
Yeah.
and then obviously people specialize to where they're an inch wide and a mile deep. Like they know all the shit about it. But yeah, so that it was like 3 grueling days of you know, I think it was like 12 to 14 essays, like a mock client file you got with court cases. You had to, write an essay and, support it with different
Oh,
legal precedent and 200 multiple choice over the course of 3 days. It was a nightmare, dude. It
and
was
you're handwriting
grueling.
everything, right? I mean,
No,
everything written
you
in?
have the computer. People, you could handwrite if that's because like however you study and how you
Yeah.
prep for it is what you want to do. You don't want to change shit up. So yeah, I did that. Funny story though, like my first day, right? So the bar exam's 3 days. The
Yeah.
first day is the mock client file you get. So you get like a client file with their problem, and you get a bunch of cases and precedent that you have to use to solve the case. And I was gonna do it on my computer. I drive like 30 minutes from my sister's house because I took it in Austin to the convention center or wherever the fuck we were taking it.
Yeah.
Drive there. I get to the parking lot probably like 45 minutes early, and I look in my bag and realize I don't have my computer. And I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" Like, I was terrified because I was like, "All right, like, chill out. Like, let's focus. Like, what do I do? Either I write my essay, which I've never done before. I always typed, and I was just used to my typing speed, or I try to fucking make it back to my sister's house, grab my computer, and speed back." So I was like, "Fuck it, dude." So I like immediately pop the car in reverse, drive back to my sister's house, and I'm flying
Oh,
down the
man.
street, dude. Flying. I get to my sister's house with like 35 minutes before the test starts, and I'm like 30 minutes away. Grab my computer, put it in my bag, and try to fly back to the convention center. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I had my maps pulled up on my phone. Like 3/4 of the way back to the convention center, my phone dies. And I was like, now I don't know how the fuck to get to the thing. And I was literally praying out loud in my car. I was like, God, if I'm supposed to do this, just help me figure out how to get there. And if you know me, like I'm directionally challenged. And by some divine miracle, I found it, turned down some roads that I thought looked familiar, got to the convention center, parked, got to the opened the doors and people had already started. Like as I opened the doors, they were like, begin. So now I have to go find my fucking seat, like turn my computer on, get the programs uploaded, and it was a shit show, dude. So
Oh man, that's a
scary.
nightmare.
It was
Yeah,
bad,
I'm like
man.
stressed out just hearing that story. That's awful,
I'm
dude.
stressed telling it. It was yeah,
Oh, the
reliving that
fact
was a
that you
nightmare,
found
man.
it back. Oh man, that's crazy. So you
Scary.
get through this tedious bar exam, and then
Mhm.
you actually got a job, and that's where I met you. Or is that the first job, or did you have multiple jobs? Like, how did becoming an actual lawyer after you got the law degree? How'd that go?
Yeah, it's funny, man. Like the first job, I had one job out of law school. I worked there for a year. It was a firm in Houston called the Lane Law Firm. That's whenever I was actually practicing law, which I actually practiced for like 1 year. Um, Went in front of a judge one time and spoke to him and looked like a fucking clown, and that was that. But so like they did foreclosure defense or representing families going through foreclosure. They did insurance law, and they did bankruptcy. And after a year, my buddy sent me one of my buddy like my best friends in law school. He sent me like a screenshot from the Texas Lawyers Facebook group, and there was a posting. I think I told you this story. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
From John Black, who is John Black and Rick Daley, the owners of Daley and Black, where I ended up being employed after. John Black posted in the Texas Lawyers Facebook group looking for a young attorney with tattoos that listens to gangster rap. And I was like, yes, this is solid, dude. It's like, fuck yeah, that sounds great. Because at the first job, the Lane Law Firm I was at, I have tattoos, and they're like, never show any of your tattoos. You like come here, suit and tie, cover them up, don't even roll your sleeves up. We don't want clients to see that at all. So going from that to like seeing John Black's posting, I hit him up like way more confident than I should have been, and I was like, hey. I'm a young attorney. I listen to all sorts of music. I got a sleeve full of tattoos. I'm exactly what you're looking for. And
There you go. That is hilarious. It like called you, right?
yeah. So I ended up going in to interview with Rick and John. Awesome guys. I still love those guys a lot. Uh, and that's essentially, where you and I crossed paths. We didn't develop the friendship that we have now. Whenever I was at Daily and Black, I think
Yep,
that
yep.
came later. But that's now you're kind of caught up to the story in terms of where I get into the storm industry, the roofing industry, the contracting space. And it's funny because after every job after law school, so I was Lane Law Firm, Daily and Black, Paradise Claims, Disaster Solutions, like every one of those progressions down the line got me further and further away from practicing law and more and closer to making videos. Where it was
Yeah.
like I was actually practicing, and then with Rick and John, Daly and Black, I was doing business development, but also helping run their marketing and social media. So I was like trying to bring business onto the firm as well as create a digital footprint and with social media. So I was like, now I'm making videos for a living, but I'm also being a lawyer. So it was like this one foot in each door. And then I take a step, I get an opportunity to work for a PA firm, Paradise Claims, and that was no lawyer work at all, and that was all video creation and events and stuff like that. And then that did it, ran its course. And then I moved to Disaster Solutions, which was purely like, we want you to do videos and events. And each step, it was just closer and closer to doing YouTube full time until I got to the point where I was doing YouTube simultaneously during all of these lawyer jobs.
Yeah, so the
And
whole time, still, it's lingering.
it's lingering in the background.
In the background.
It's just creeping along, dude. And
people don't
yeah, go ahead.
understand, and especially people like my age and older, the boomers, and then I'm not much older. I'm probably a millennial as well. I don't really know what I am,
Yeah.
but people don't understand that YouTubing and what is it called now? It's not called being a YouTuber. Like it's a content creator. That's the word I'm looking for, right?
Influencer, content creator.
Influencer, content creator. Like that is a business. You are running a business right now, and it's probably more difficult than somebody going and starting a roofing company because there's all different phases of it. There's a niche, there's production, there's sales, there's all of it. Business principles are universal, and they all apply to what you're doing. So going through college, you've got all of the law degree and stuff. That's probably something you don't apply very much to what you do
No,
now. But
no.
luckily, you're with Rick and John, who are lawyers that think a little bit differently, and they
Sure.
allowed you to do some work when it came to marketing and business development. So now you're
Yep.
learning this salesmanship, this relationship stuff, marketing, and then creating videos for marketing. I remember at one point in time, I think it was maybe your Disaster Solutions or Paradise Claims, you were doing a video, and I was talking to you about video stuff. And I've got a business that I just sold that was in the video world, and so I know a little
You
bit. And I
just
remember
sold it?
asking you, yeah, I sold it recently. Yep.
Congrats, dude. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you. So I remember asking you questions, and you're like, I don't know. I don't really know anything about video. It's like, dude, aren't you a YouTuber? Like, how do
Yeah.
you not know this? And then there
Yeah.
was another time where where yeah, you were using like boxes as a stand instead of like the camera
Yeah. Well,
tripod.
yeah, dude. That's just how I've just that comes more from like the stingy side of me. It's like in my
Yeah,
life, the more money I've gotten, the less I feel like I have. So it's like,
yeah.
whenever I'm making 50 grand a year, I'm like, I got money, dude. Like, who wants me to buy dinner? Like, I got y'all. And then like as you grow, you're just trying to preserve it, right? So that cardboard box tripod is what I use, right? I didn't have a tripod. This cardboard box was solid. Like I could put my camera on it. It was the perfect height. My buddies gave me so much shit. I was like, this is working, dude, and I don't have to pay for a tripod. It's great.
Well, probably a lot of that maybe is because it was this thing you did on the side, right? It was this hobby forever. It was never
Yeah.
really a business. So talk about a little bit more about these other business experiences after the law firm. You went and did marketing, you did videos. What all did you do? And what do you think you learned there that you're applying now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, like going back to law school, even right. So like law school, literally, and the premise of law school is like you guys are all really smart, probably close to the top of your class. Forget everything you learned about reading and writing. Like we're gonna teach you how to read and write again, but from a legal framework. So it's like law school shaped me just in terms of being more analytical, weighing pros and cons, like being more objective and formulating arguments. So I feel like that literally reframed my brain in the way that I think. Um, Daily and Black, well, like I think honestly what the Lane Law Firm taught me where I was actually practicing is like I don't want to do this shit. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like the people were great. They did God's work, honestly, representing families that are going up against being foreclosed on. But like, and I'll tell you the truth. They were great
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
But I just realized I was like, I don't want to wear a suit and tie. I don't want to have to be in an office whenever someone tells me when to be. I hated being an employee, and I am a bad employee. I really am. No one should ever hire me as an employee because I end up doing what I want to do. Like I'd bring my laptop and put it on my desk in the Lane Law Firm, and I'd be fucking like working on my YouTube videos. And then they would send like company wide emails like no more laptops, and there would be like three or four
It's
different
directed at
iterations.
you. It's
Three or four,
you.
exactly, dude. There were like three or four different iterations of company wide emails that were geared at me because they knew I was doing some weird shit, and I was getting my work done for sure. Like I wasn't neglecting it, but once it was done, I was focused on what I wanted to do. Um, so I think the Lane Law Firm taught me what I didn't want. Daly and Black, they're so cool, such cool guys. Like I was like, these are some badass fucking dudes that are intelligent. Like that's an understatement. They're like literally brilliant, that are uber successful, that are cool, down to earth guys. And I was like, okay, this is like more my style. I like this. But to be honest, I don't think I'm a natural salesman. Like I can connect with people and I can develop friendships, but I hate closing and being like, yeah, so at the end of this, like you're cool, but you want to send me your cases? Like I hate that shit. So
Yeah.
I don't think that I was like a natural salesman from like a biz dev standpoint. So that I think what that taught me is like that I have more of an ability to create different types of content than I thought. So like started the Brainstorm podcast over there, like got the whole setup. I was like, I haven't historically made a podcast before, but let's tap in and see what I can do. Different little marketing videos, just like fun things that like stretch my creative horizons, right? And like could tap into different areas of creativity. Um, and then the next step after Daily and Black was Paradise Claims, and that was a smaller business that was more along the lines of like my buddy Kobe, two Alexes,
Yeah.
Alex Kobe,
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
my best friends. We went into that together, and that was essentially us like running the social media and marketing department there. So that was all like, okay, now I don't have to focus on bringing cases in, but let's just continue to like get eyes on us. And that was the name of that business, which was like, we want all the attention. How do we garner the attention, whether it's from a video perspective or if we're at an event or a convention center and we have a booth? Like, how do we get eyes on us? We just want attention. And then with disaster solutions, I'd say disaster solutions, my next job after Paradise Claims, was very similar to Paradise Claims in the sense of what I was doing work wise, which was essentially
Yeah.
helping run the social media marketing and trying to get as many eyes on us as possible and creating cool videos like recaps of events. So all of this, it all taught me it added little notches in my belt that I was like, okay, now I have acquired this skill. I've edited this type of video, and it allowed me to be creative from numerous different fronts, which translates to videos that I'm doing now. But to be honest, in the back of my mind, there's just something about working for someone else that I fucking hate. And I'm
I
like,
can't stand it. Yeah.
I'm like, I love that I'm making videos, but now I'm making videos for someone else and their business, and I'm getting paid, so I'm getting rewarded, but they're reaping the rewards, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like, I just love to make videos, but then I'm like, in the back of my mind's like, motherfucker, you're not making videos for yourself. Like, you're spending too much time on other people's shit. So then I'm like, to the point where I'm making my own videos and I can do whatever the hell I want. It's the most rewarding thing. I'm at the point now where I work harder than I ever have, but if for some reason I wanted to wake up at noon, I could. I just call all the shots. If I don't want to work today, I want to go hang out with my wife, I can do that. So it's like the freedom to make all the choices. And I think even if I were offered a crazy amount of money to work for someone else, well, depending on what it is, I might take that. But I think I would rather make a much smaller amount of money working for myself than a large sum working for someone else. I think that's what it
That's
boils
awesome.
down
And
to. Yeah.
one thing that's a little bit different about your entrepreneurial journey than the others people that we've talked to is you were always running this business, your business on the side, right?
Mm.
And a lot of people actually follow that path, but it just so happens a lot of our guests haven't, right? They've been like, oh yeah, I want to go do this, start this roofing company, and they just start. They quit their job, they just start it from scratch. I would compare that to like in our industry, in the roofing industry, there's a lot of firefighters that have
Mm.
this income and they have this job, and that's where they get the majority of their money. But they start a roofing company on the side because they have a little bit of extra time and build a few roofs a year and make a little bit of extra money. But then eventually they save up enough, or something clicks, right? Something in their head clicks, and they're like, screw this day job. I'm going full time on myself. I bet on myself.
Yeah.
So, was there a click with you, or was it just, hey, I'm always going to do this, and if it makes enough money, then that's when it happens? Or was it just like, fuck it, I'm done working for the man. I'm gonna work for this man right here, you know?
It was That's a great question. It was So there's a good bit to unpack there. One, my brain goes, yes, there were a couple clicks. I'll talk about those. Um, but it was very much so like being a lawyer was, in my mind, this was a stupid thing, but it's how it worked out, where I was like, I'll pursue it as a plan B. I want to do something in entertainment. I want to do something like video wise. And if for some reason that all falls through and fails, I can fall back on being a lawyer. Because I like, on a scale of
Like,
happiness, zero
good
to
pay,
100.
right? Good
Yeah,
pay, no matter where you're at, what you're doing, you can always get
exactly.
good pay with a law degree. So that makes sense. I
Exactly.
love that.
Not to mention, people that go pursue entertainment jobs, like hear a lot of people going out to like LA and like waiting tables, and I'm like, people have a job when they're trying to have you have to have income. So
Yeah.
I have to be doing something while I'm pursuing my dream. So why not be a lawyer? Like probably rather do that than wait tables. Uh, so that was my mentality. Um, so a couple clicks happened. There's one main click that I remember at the beginning of my content journey, which was like me having a realization inside myself in my brain where I was like, all right, I have to flip the light switch. Where like, how much content can I upload? I was like, let's get fucking serious. How much content can I upload without sacrificing quality? And this is whenever I started making music reactions, and I was like, I can put out one video a day and make it a banger video. So let's do that. Excuse me. And I was like, starting tomorrow, I will put out a video a day. And in my brain, I guess that's the obsessive part of me, where that was it.
Yeah.
That's all it took. That was the light switch. And I was like, from that day on, I started uploading a video a day. Now, I always
Where
had
were
YouTube
you
going.
at in your like other side of the journey? Where were you working at that point in time?
That was law school.
Uh,
So that was law
that was,
school.
oh wow, that was so school.
So,
Is that
so
that when
like
your grades started dipping, right?
my grades were, I was crushing it the first semester because I didn't do anything except school. And then after that, I was like, that's whenever I had the realization where I was still watching YouTube way more than I
Yeah.
should have. And I was like, I want to do this. I'm studying law, but I want to make videos. So after my first semester, I was like, that's whenever I had that, when I was like, let's get serious about this. Like, how many videos can I upload? And so that was the first light switch,
So
right?
law school is when the light switch hit. And when did you switch to like, so you do music reactions, right?
Yeah.
Or that's what you did right then. But before that, you had done vlogging.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Good
people may be
memory.
watching this that have no idea what the difference is.
Yeah.
When did that switch?
So vlogging, if anyone doesn't know, kind of just like think of it as a video blog, throw the words together. Vlog can be anything from like you filming your everyday life, whatever you're doing, or you can hyper curate some entertainment thing where it's like you do this whole big blown out thing. Essentially, you're just filming your everyday life and you make your personal life a
Yeah,
TV
like
show.
basically reality TV on YouTube, right?
Exactly.
Filmed by yourself. Think about
Exactly.
that, right?
So
That's
I
vlogging.
started I started doing that 3 times a week, and that's what I wanted. I created my YouTube channel, and I was like, I'm gonna be a vlogger. And let's do 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The fucking wrench thrown into all of this is I was in law school, and my day today looked like me coming home and putting my nose in a book for 8 hours, and I'm like, that's not entertaining at all.
It
So
was a boring life, right?
so I
You
went.
don't drink, you don't party.
What am I
You're
filming?
in
The
law
fuck
school
is this?
studying. It's like those age-old things. Like if anybody filmed your life and filmed a movie about your life, would anybody watch it? Yeah,
Right,
I guess you
exactly.
got that answer right away. Nobody wants
Well,
to
so
watch it.
I tried to like fix the system, right? And I was like, well, I live 30 minutes away from my house where my goofy ass cousins are. Like, I'll go home more and I'll film them and fuck with them and do some weird shit. And I did that. And I think for what I had, my surrounding area, I think I made pretty entertaining videos. But I quickly came to
Are
the
these videos still
realization
around? Are
they're
those
all
still around?
privated. I could show you. I could show you. Uh,
Yeah.
they're around. I think you probably get a kick out of them. But
Yeah.
they would get 14 views, like 11 views, something like that. And then I had the realization. I was like, well, I'm showing my everyday life in a reality TV format, but one, no one knows who I am, and no one gives a fuck what I'm doing on my day to day, really. So I feel like the barrier to entry is steep with this. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I have to give people a reason to be interested in my life. So other videos that was watching were music reactions. I loved watching people hear music for the first time, and their goofy reactions was awesome. So I was like, maybe if I do reactions for a while, like I can get that ball rolling, and then people will be like, huh. I wonder what that tall, skinny fucking reactor guy does in his day to day. And then I was like, and then I'll just implement the vlogs and do it like that. So I started doing reactions to what I knew and loved, which was like rap and hip hop. Loved that. Those, jumped from 14 views to 500 views. Maybe if I was lucky, some over 1,000.
There you
And
go.
then that's whenever
Still
I
in
made that.
college. Yep.
Still in law school.
Law school. Sorry,
This
law
all
school. Yep.
happened in law school. So that's whenever I came to there was that vlog period, right? And then there's that light bulb moment, that light switch moment where I was like, I'm doing reactions now. Like, how many videos can I upload a day without sacrificing quality? I can do one a day. So then I started doing one a day. And that was still me toying around with different genres, rap. I even did like some K-pop reactions. And that went from like 1,000 views to like 10,000. And I was like, ooh, this is interesting. Kept tapping into K-pop, and then someone was like,
What's
or I
K-pop?
saw
What's
Korean pop,
K-pop?
Korean pop
Korean
music,
pop? Okay, yeah.
like
I've never heard
girls
a
in like
Korean pop
bright
song.
colors that are like, hi, yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
Okay.
so that worked. And then I saw a content creator that was like, metalheads first time hearing rap music, and I was like, oh, I know all the fucking rap music just about. So, but I don't know anything about metal. So I was like, let me try hip hop heads first time hearing Slipknot. That was like the first metal video I put out, and I just used that title, and that was the
Yeah.
first video that blew up. Not immediately, it wasn't an overnight thing, but it was the first video that hit like 25,000 views, and then slowly over the course of months, it grew to like my first video that was 100,000 and 250,000 views. It kept perpetually growing. And whenever I saw something that worked like that, I was like, all right, like let's do some metal shit. Like let's hip hop
There
heads
we
first time
go.
hearing Slayer and Judas Priest and Polaris and Tool. Like let's do all of this shit. And that really built the brand of like hip hop heads first time hearing and then enter any metal band. And that's what really got the YouTube channel growing over the course of my law school career, even into after graduation from law school, even into my first jobs, I was still doing metal reactions for 3 years. The problem with that was they're all music, right? So it's like the all copyright content, and the music label would get all the money from that. So every video I was uploading was not making any money. So I'd be getting hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views, but not making any money. And in my mind, I was like, well, I'll figure this shit out later. Like maybe money will come. For now, I have the eyes on me, so I'm going to keep them on me. So I kept
Yeah.
doing that and trying to find ways to make money, like reacting to up and coming bands that wanted to, capture my audience and would pay me to react to their songs, or selling merch, like trying to capitalize on that.
Well,
Uh,
so this is like these are key problems with any business. Again, I try to relate
100%.
general, you know, business principles are universal, right? They all are. So when you're first getting started and you're doing your vlogging, that's a product. Your type of video is a product. You're vlogging,
Yes.
and your vlogging is not working, and you found
Right.
out why it's not working. People don't want to buy this, right? They're
Yes.
not
Yep.
spending money like other things. They're spending time on YouTube. That's their
Right.
spend. And they're not spending any time on your
Right.
shit, right? Nobody wants to watch a kid in law school studying. But then you find this niche because, and what do? Success leaves clues. You're studying. YouTube is kind of one of these weird phenomenons where you can actually watch the other businesses and watch exactly how they do it and see their success and then copy their success.
Exactly
Whereas
right.
think about roofing or home service or even law, you don't get to watch another lawyer be successful and then copy what they're doing or make little changes. So you made those changes and now you're selling a ton of product but you're not actually getting paid because you're selling product
Right.
for somebody else. It's kind of funny. This whole time, you're actually doing what you hate. You're working for somebody else, right? You're just
Exactly.
working for the labels now because they're the ones
Exactly.
making money. So now you have this huge problem. You have to monetize
Yep.
this. So you said how many years were you watching the music reaction videos?
I was doing that for 3 to 4 years. Now, I mean, I was making money, but by no means could I quit my day job. It was like a couple thousand a
Dollars.
month, maybe. Yeah,
Hey,
a couple
that's not
$1,000s a
bad. Couple
month,
thousand a
which is
month. There you go.
it's solid. But whenever my mindset is this is what I want to be doing for my life, uh, then I'm like $2,000 a
That's not to
month,
pay your
like
bills. Yeah.
that I can't do that. So, but at the end of the day, right? So like I had the attention. So my mindset was like, let's just keep grinding and keep pivoting and see what I can
So
turn
think
this
about it
into.
as a brand, right? If it's
Yeah.
another business, home service, or whatever,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
building this giant brand selling something that makes you almost nothing.
Exactly.
And you're faced with this problem. It's like, do I keep selling it and building my brand because people love my product, even though I don't make any money?
Right.
So where was that next aha? Where was that next click? Or was
Well,
that the
yeah.
fuck you moment that, what was next after that? I'm
So the
enjoying this.
next thing after that was and before I get into that, let me preface by saying it always fucking killed me that because I would hear some people be like, I have more money than I have like subscribers. And I was like, whoa. And at this point in my life, I had like 800,000 subscribers. And I was like, I certainly don't have $800,000. Like what's going on? There's something's fucked up. Like I want more money than I want subscribers.
Where's
It's
my
funny.
money?
Where's mine? I'm working hard. Uh, so the next aha moment is just me continuously being a consumer of YouTube content, and I pivoted kind of from watching music reactions to movie reactions, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, I noticed that like metal music is a cult fan base. Like if you're into metal, you're into fucking metal, and you develop brotherhoods and friendships with other like-minded people that like metal. Like that's a family, right? And
Call that a
movie
niche,
a niche, right? And
right? Yeah.
movies have that too. So I was like, I was seeing other content creators do movie reactions, and I was like, that sounds like so much fun. I don't really know how to do it, but let's try. So I the next biggest dilemma for me, dude, was I have a channel with 800,000 subscribers, and on YouTube, for those of you that are unfamiliar, you can kind of split up your channel into collections, right? So in theory, I could have like a music reactions collection on my channel, and I could have a movies collection on my channel. So I was like, I already have 800,000 people, like I want to use that, but something in my brain was like, I just feel like I should start a different channel. So I did that. And that was like months. I was over stressing and thinking about it in my head, weighing the pros and cons, asking everybody that would listen to me what they would do. Uh, and I just started a new channel. And then I
So
started
that's your
like,
jump, basically.
that
That's
was my
your
jump.
jump. Like somebody else jumping into a business that they're not doing or quitting their job.
Yeah,
You're literally starting from scratch.
starting from
And
scratch.
again, 800,000 subscribers. That is not easy to do no
Well,
matter what you're filming, you
it's
know?
tough. And what I wanted to avoid was these 800,000 people are here to get to watch music reactions. So if I start uploading movie reactions, now my fear was people that are subscribed would get a notification and be like, he uploaded a movie reaction. I'm not here for that shit. And then they would not click on that. And then YouTube would not recommend my videos to them anymore. And then I'd get in this fucking algorithmic bullshit that that YouTube would stop feeding my content to people. And that's what I was really fearful of. So I started a new channel and I was like, here's what I'm going to do. I'll start a new channel and I'm not starting from scratch. I technically am, but the giant difference is I have 4 years and 800,000 subscribers worth of knowledge of how I got there. And now let's start this new channel in this new mindset, this new framework, and attack what I was doing wrong with my music reactions, and we'll attack those head on with the movies. And luckily, the way that you edit movie reactions is you don't use enough of the movie at one time to flag copyright. So it's kind of like a gray area, right? And it's this like fair use where you're creating a different end product. I'm not repackaging the movie and selling it on my channel. I'm adding my commentary, my opinion, my facial expressions, my input. So it's kind of wrapping it up in this new package, which depending on who's arguing, falls under fair use. Basically, I can monetize all those videos. And I think the really cool thing about the movies versus the music that I came to realize is the music, a song is what, 3 to 5 minutes? And there's enough there for you to integrate your personality so people can relate to you, where I'm like, oh, that sounded like the intro to Breaking Bad. And someone's like, oh, I love Breaking Bad. Like, now there's a connection between Alex and I. There's this interpersonal connection.
Yeah.
So a song had enough of that for me to make some of those connections, but a movie, I'm watching this bitch for 2.5 hours, and now
Yeah.
the video's like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, and now there's so many things to talk about where I've seen that actor in this movie, or I love what he's wearing, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and there's so many more opportunities for me to connect with the audience, and it's just as cult of a fan base, the movie community, as is the metal. So once I started doing that, I mean, that's whenever it really snowballed, and my YouTube income surpassed my lawyer income. So at one point I was like, now I have like 2 incomes. I'm like, and they're pretty similar. So this is fucking cool. I got 2 jobs, but I had 1 foot in each bucket. And I was like, I just need to go all in. So, and then it worked out where like, I didn't quit my job, but circumstances happened to where they no longer needed me. So I was like, the decision's kind of made for me, which is a blessing, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people struggle with, right? Is when do I walk away from my security blanket, and when do I jump into my dream? And luckily for me, I didn't have to make that decision. It was made for me. And I was like, well, I'm not going to go look for another job. I'm doing YouTube full time now. And it's kind of gotten to the point where I am now. The scary thing is, as is with any self-employed person, is you kind of just ride the wave, right? It's like, I don't necessarily know how much money I'm making next month. I got a ballpark, but who knows? It could shoot up. It could, plateau down. It could do whatever the fuck. And it's scary, but man, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, your reaction videos are also niched, right? So when you were doing the music videos, it was hip hop head reacts to metal, right?
Yeah.
And I think something unique about that you had said is you had never listened to those songs before. You never heard of them.
Right.
So like it's reacting to the songs as you're doing them. One of the craziest things to me is like when you started doing the TV and movie vault, is there's no fucking way you haven't watched that show, right? And I know you probably get that a lot, but so the niche that you're in now is like you're watching this stuff for the first time, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and so it's like so it kind of to me it circles back, right? So you're this kid running around playing, filming YouTube videos, watching YouTube. You were watching YouTube all the time. You're obsessed with YouTube. So if you're a kid watching YouTube all the time, what are you not watching? Like every other fucking kid, movies and television. So, and until just now, and I've known you for 5 years, 10 years, something like that. Until just now, I didn't realize why you had never watched these movies and TV shows. But now that we're doing this podcast, I get it. Like you were stuck watching YouTube the whole time. So you never got to watch the movies.
100%. That's a huge aspect of it, right? Other contributing factors would be, one, how insanely obsessed that's who I am, right? How obsessive I was over sports. So like when my friends and other family members were like, you want to go watch? I remember being like, you want to go watch Iron Man? And I was like, no, like I want to go like do a track workout because I'm trying to fucking go to the Olympics. Like that's what I want to do. And then I was also very much that kid that was like too cool. I was like, oh, superhero movies, that's lame. Like Harry Potter, it's fucking lame. Transformers, that's some weird Power Rangers shit. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch this workout video and I want to go run. Like I want to lift weights. I want to do all this shit. Very like kind of a toxic mentality, right? So those 3 things: sports, toxic, adolescence, and one other thing that I wanted to say is like through that tumultuous childhood, right? It's like whenever I would get these periods of grace and calm, like this calming atmosphere, which was seldom, I feel like I turned to comfort movies and shows where I'd watch like The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler like 1,000 times. And I love that fucking movie. And like if I was watching a movie, I'd be like, this makes me feel comfortable where my daily life and my parents are making me feel uncomfortable. So I think there was an attribute to that where I'm not going to venture out with a new movie that I may or may not like. I'm like, this is like my comfort movie. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Stability right here. Let me just see what he's going to do, even though I knew. So I think all those contributing factors added up to me not watching or listening to fucking anything.
That's
So
crazy, dude. So
yeah.
talk about some of these videos. So the people like, what's the craziest video or movie that everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe you watched that, or maybe there's a few of them. I can't believe you have never seen that.
So for me, my personality, a big one was Deadpool because a lot of people were like, "Dude, like the
Have you never
Deadpool
seen that?
humor totally fits you." It was like this global movie. Like, what the fuck? So it was. I started off with all the Marvel movies, like MCU. I didn't watch any of these. So like Iron Man,
Yeah.
Hulk, Thor, like all
Like
the
everybody's seen
Avengers.
these movies, but you've never seen these. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So I started doing that. Did the Harry Potter movies. I still never read the books to this day, and I was that too cool for school kid where I was like, Harry Potter's fucking lame. I don't want to watch some wizard dude shoot spells and ride a broom. Uh, Stupid. But that was that. So I've been watching like Harry Potter in the last year. Um, and then I think that over time I've kind of cultivated my voice, and it's like my videos are like crass. They're out there. I say fucked up shit because I hate. One of my pet peeves is people needing to have things sugar coated and getting their feelings hurt. So I tap into that and I make fun of fucking everybody and I say shit I shouldn't say just to make people think and push buttons because I feel like we need more of that in the world. So like one of my most recent videos, which is pretty fucked up, is like Zootopia. I just watched Zootopia, right?
Oh
This
yeah, it's
animated
totally. Yep,
movie,
yep. My kids
phenomenal.
love it. Yep.
And it's great, and it's very like Lola Bunny esque, where you like look at an animation, and you're like, wow, that's Lola Bunny's like kind of hot, and you're like, what is happening? And then same with like this little bunny police officer. It's like I wanted to be out there and crass, and I titled the video like, great, now I'm attracted to animals. Like Zootopia reaction, and threw it up there, and everyone's like, "What the fuck? Like, why would you say that? It's so weird." And it's about right now. It's just about me having fun and me being my own true self, which is just like saying shit that people probably shouldn't say, and I think it's funny and like shocking and jarring, and I'm just having fun with that. So pretty much any type of animated movie, any cult classic like Jurassic Parks, Transformers, like any of those movies, like I'll be checking out. Basically anything anyone votes in and wants to see,
Okay.
I'll check it out.
So you
Yeah.
have people vote because that was my next question. It's like, so how now do you pick movies and TV shows? Like, have you
Yeah.
gotten to the point where is there anything left to watch, or is it just like
Oh yeah,
you've
dude.
watched everything by now?
Well, no, man. I mean, there's so much, and like with the content that studios are putting out now, it's like new movies and new shows, and it's like there's always something new. Like, uh, I'm not sure if you're into like Invincible. It's like an animated show that's on Amazon that just came out. Reacher with Alan Ritchson, who fucking
Yeah, that's a
crushes
good
it.
one.
That
That's a
that
good
just
one.
came
Yeah.
out. So like there's so many shows and movies coming out that if I integrate old movies and shows and then in tandem do new movies and shows, it's like I don't feel like I'm ever gonna run out of shit.
That makes
But
sense
if
because yeah, this new shit comes out all the time. Yeah.
but
Yep.
but in the case if the worst case scenario it plateaus or ends up not being feasible, it's like I've been in that position again where I'll figure something else out content wise to do. We'll tap into something
Yeah.
else and do something.
Dude,
So
that's
uh,
awesome. That's awesome. And so how do you scale now, right? So now you've got this business, you're successful. Are you still watching your user count or your subscriber count and your views rise? Is it still growing just doing more videos, or are you starting to plateau? How does that look?
yeah, so I think no, it's continuously growing, which is a blessing. The movies are much more time intensive and much more tedious and a much bigger project. So they take a lot longer to edit. And something that we can talk about later, which is more business side, is like I've hired 3 different editors that help me, so we can get into that. But
Yeah.
uh, as of right now, yeah, so the movies are much more time intensive, right? So I am much more of the opinion of quality over quantity. So one of the other business minded things that I've had to deal with is like my frequency of uploads on this movie channel is way less than the music. And initially I thought that was a downside, but I think it's tremendously helped in the sense of people are like kind of waiting for it, right?
They're
In this
waiting
day
for
and
it. Yeah.
in this day and age where you have everything accessible at your fingertips, there's never a dull second. It's like now they're in a position where they're like, well, now I got to fucking wait for his upload. And then they go watch all my old videos. So it has worked out well. In terms of subscriber count, I think for people that aren't necessarily making content, that is a metric that a lot of people pay attention to. And that is a decent metric for success to a certain point. I think more so subscriber count is a vanity metric where you're like, I got 800,000. How many do you have? And it's like, I had 800,000 subscribers and I was making $1,000 a month. And now like
Yeah.
like whenever I had 50,000 subscribers on the movies, I was crushing what my music was doing. So subscriber count is a decent threshold for success, but it's not it at all. It's much more view count. How many views are your videos getting? And those have continued to grow. I try hard to toe the line between, and me being obsessive is difficult with this, right? I
Yeah.
either want to answer as many comments as possible or I want to not look at them at all because I will be like, I'll be hyper fixated
Yeah. Yeah.
on the amount of comments or what they're saying or
Well, how many
how many
comments do you get on one of your more viral videos? Like, how many comments are we talking?
on a typical video it's probably 1200 comments on a video and then like if it does really well, I mean, an anomaly would probably be like 5,000 comments. Like a really good video is like 2,500, and that's ballpark stuff. So around there. But again, it depends, right? It
That's a
depends.
lot of replies. I mean, but doesn't that help boost your view count like tremendously when you reply to
I
all those?
if I think so. I think it could. I was very much of the mindset early on during my music reaction days that I would respond to every single comment until I could not do it anymore. And
Yeah.
before I went to bed every night, I would have 4 comments on my videos. So I would
Yeah.
respond to every comment. I would wake up and I'd have 2 more and I'd respond to those and then I'd start my day. And then it's gotten to a point where you just can't do it anymore. It's not possible.
Yeah.
And the money that I would put towards like I wouldn't necessarily want to hire someone to respond to those comments because
Because
then
it's not you.
it's
Could you
not
create a
me.
video? Could you create a reaction video, like a quick video where you respond to all the comments real fast or something like that,
May,
right?
maybe, but then then responding to 1,000 comments, that would take like 3 hours, I'd imagine, maybe four. I
Ah.
don't know. So then that would be like a 4 to 5 hour thing every day
There's
for
got to be a
videos. It's
way,
like,
right? Like have like AI summarize all my comments, and
yeah.
send it to me, and then you do a quick video and you say, okay,
Well,
it seems like a lot of people asked this. This was the craziest comment and
yeah.
whatever, right? I
Well,
don't know. I'm trying to think of a way.
YouTube does a decent job in terms of on YouTube you can upvote comments, you can like them or dislike them. So the ones that get like some comments get like 1,000 upvotes, and I'm like some of those are like, hey, you have to
Okay, you
watch
want to
this
respond to
movie,
those ones?
and that one goes to the
Yeah.
top, so I can kind of see like what's most people agree with or not. And I think it's so funny because I talk to a lot of creators, and at the end of the day, I think the consensus is like it's a giant game of trial and error, and none of us really know what the fuck's happening. We're just kind of like riding with the wave, and like if we figure out
Yeah.
something that works, we'll go on with it, and then slightly make pivots over the course of however long your content journey is. But the thing that I found is if you don't love it, you'll fizzle out. Like the
Yeah.
amount of tedious bullshit that you have to do, the learning curves, the continuous uploads through 4 views, the hits to your ego. If you don't have some type of passion for videos, then I don't think you will be able to muscle through that to the point where you get to the destination you're looking for. Maybe someone could, but I don't think so.
That's awesome, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you clearly, like I said, you watch movies and TVs. I love to watch movies and TVs. I think
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
people love watching movie and TV, and that's your business. That is
Yeah.
just one of the coolest things that will never be something that I don't think is the coolest thing ever. It's like I think it was Gary Vee I was watching the other day, and he's like, quit pushing your kids not to play video games or do what they love. If they're super passionate about it, they can monetize that. We live in a world where you can make money doing what you love. It doesn't have to be being a lawyer or being something else. So like your entrepreneurial journey could take you anywhere, but the scaling aspect of it is really cool. So you've got editors now. So the only thing you can't duplicate is yourself watching the video, right?
Right.
So like if you got hit by a bus, your business goes away tomorrow, right? There's nothing else
Until
you can
they
do.
come out with some wild AI tool where I upload all my videos and then I'm an AI and they take how I joke and my mannerisms and create their own videos, which is probably
There you
coming,
go.
but
And
who knows?
then I think that's coming soon. I mean, I think you could probably do an AI bot now and like
Maybe
create one of
so.
your face. But is that the next like at what point? How do you scale your business?
Yeah, I think what that is it's a different beast where it's, a lot of businesses I feel like it's if you put more money into it or effort, a lot of times it will scale. And that is true of YouTube up to a certain point, but it's different because it's entertainment based and it's going with trends and it's
Yeah.
like it's difficult.
You
So in
grab
terms of
other
scaling,
influencers maybe, like get like an
sure,
actor
sure,
or TV actor
sure.
or another YouTuber on your channel and pay them a bunch
So
of money and then
there's
like
definitely that's a great idea. So there's some stuff like that, collaborations, right, with different content creators. If I like a lot streaming is huge now, right? You'll see Kevin Hart and Drewski on Kai Cenat stream or like other celebrities. So yeah, if I could get like, I don't know, Scarlett Johansson to watch Avengers with me, I'm sure
watch
that
a
would be a
movie with
viral
you.
video,
That'd be pretty
That'd be
cool.
solid.
Yeah.
I think that the amount of money I would generate from that video would be far less than I would have to pay her to watch a movie with me, but
Yeah.
whatever. I wouldn't even know how to make that happen. And I don't think my wife would be pleased. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
so
was gonna say you're happily married. Yep.
I think it's just in terms of like getting, but okay, so I think what that boils down to is creativity, right? I think creativity is the way to scale an entertainment business where creatively, yeah, let's get some more people in here. Let's do some joint reactions. Like maybe let's dabble in this type of thing, following trends. What's popping? Like, should I be streaming? Like, how do we do this? How do I utilize all these new tools and platforms and social media sites to amplify or tap into a new market? How do I increase what I'm doing with streaming? Should I be streaming movie reactions with people? Like, should I be doing like commentary videos where I, tap into different creative arenas? And the
Yep.
thing with that is, as long as you're interested in it, I think that that's good. And that's the name of the game, though, right? Because sometimes the smart move is something that you don't want to fucking do in terms of entertainment. And if you don't want to do it and your heart's not in it, I truly believe that will translate to your
Gonna
videos.
come
And
out.
if the audience knows you're not into it, then it's like, why the fuck am I watching this dude? And what you think is the right business move, even though it might be right for someone else, might not be right for you. So you have to really understand yourself. Like, do I want to be doing that? Should I be doing this right now? And it's this whole trial and error of staying up to date with the trends, of reaching into lateral industries and lateral platforms and lateral subject matter and enjoying the process. I think that's really what it is like, let's fucking enjoy ourselves. I'm waking up and watching movies and talking shit about them. Like, I should be having fun. Like, let's
Yeah.
continue
Yeah.
having fun, man. And that is kind of like an eye roll answer where people are like, oh yeah, no shit. Easy for you to
No,
say.
this
But
this aligns perfectly with anything else entrepreneur.
yeah,
Like when you think of sales, like I always give
yep,
people sales advice. If you really want to be successful at sales, sell a product that you believe in. I don't care who you are or
100%.
what you're doing. If you believe in the product that you're selling, you're going to sell more of it than if you don't. So you're just stating that, like, I love doing what I'm doing. I love watching movies and TV, and because I love doing that, I'm great at it. Where if you started watching Teletubbies or something like that, you're not going to be that great at it because you're faking the reactions now, right?
Right.
It's not like, oh, this is crazy,
Yeah, and
unless you're
it's
popping
not
acid and watching
right,
Teletubbies, then
right,
maybe that's fun to
right.
watch. I
and then
don't
and then
know.
then your monetization goes away. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, I think it's yeah, that's very true. And you can tell um, when someone's being disingenuous on camera. I don't think there's a lot of, unless you're a great actor, that's cool. Uh, but I think it's pretty difficult to hide behind, like if you're in front of a camera. I think
yeah.
people have a pretty good litmus test of like, this dude, something's off. Like, you're exaggerating
Especially by
and
now, they know you. By now, they know you. They're
100%.
gonna know when you're lying or faking or anything else.
But
Yeah.
even being true to yourself, like at the end of the day, authenticity matters, right? So it's like I could get on, and a lot of people are like, why don't you use like your law degree to make like lawyer reacts to Better Call Saul or something? And I'm like, that is a perfect example of like a good business move that has worked tremendously well. But for me, I'm not interested in it. And me, I also have like 1 year of practicing experience to where those videos really hit when they're like, I'm an attorney for 15 years and let me tell you everything that is wrong about this. Where I'm like, I don't know if that's right or not. Like, I went and talked to a judge
Sounds right
one
to me.
time. Yeah, it sounds good to me. It's like it would be disingenuous. So it's like
Yeah.
a lot of people try to amplify their reactions or do shit that they wouldn't normally do. So if you're a quiet, reserved dude that has like dry humor, tap into that and make some dry ass jokes and be who you are on camera. If you're a loud, obnoxious, crass dude, be a fucking loud, obnoxious, crass dude on camera and say some weird shit. But at the end of the day, like, showcase who you are to your core, and that authenticity, regardless of who you are as a person, will resonate with a lot of people out there.
I love that. I love that, man. So, another thing that comes along with business is your family support. You're
Yeah.
happily married.
Mhm.
When did she come along? When did you meet your wife?
Mhm.
And what does she think about your business? And what has she thought over the years?
Yeah, that's a great question too. Met my wife in law school. We touched on the fact that I'm a millennial, which means we're always on our phone, which then translates to we met on a dating app. We met on Tinder.
Oh,
Had
there you
like a
go.
fucking
Yeah.
Tinder date, and developed the relationship that way. And that started in law school. And she was truly the only legitimate girlfriend I've had in my life. So, whatever. I say legitimate because I had like another girlfriend for like a week, and after 3 days, I was like, nah, this isn't it. We gotta fucking move on. Uh, but she was there. We developed our relationship before I started my YouTube journey, and I was so nervous about starting that I created like 3 practice vlogs. I was like, I want to start uploading vlogs, but I'm really scared. So like, here's 3 videos that I made, and I sent them to my close friends and my family, and I was like, do these suck? Like, tell me what you think. And I showed her, and she was like, that's actually like a pretty good start. So she was there from like before the channel was
Day
created,
one. Wow.
during my practice videos. She saw the growth and everything, and even was in some metal reactions. Her skin is much, much thinner than mine, so she seldom makes appearances on the channel. YouTube comments can be fucking mean, dude. But like, so yeah, she was there from the jump, and she's been extremely supportive, especially uh once you start making more money than what you anticipated or what your day job is. Even if people don't believe in it, it's like, what else can you say? It's like, no, let me go
Yeah.
back to a more stable job where I'm making a fraction of what I'm making now. Like, how fucking stupid is that? Uh, but to this day, I think there are some. We'll watch like a badass lawyer movie or show, or hear about like fucking Rick and John getting like $100 million verdict. And
Yeah.
lawyers can be really fucking badass. And she's like, that would be cool. Like, there's no part of you that wants to do that. And I'm like, no. So like, she understands like the prestige and the value that lawyers provide, and has like kind of we've had that conversation of like, is that something you think you'd want to eventually go back and do? And I'm like, maybe at some point in my life. I have no idea, but as of right now, I'm having way too much fun uh, doing what I'm doing. But she's been
Yeah. I
a
don't see a
fucking day
way.
one supporter, man. She's been
Yeah.
crushing it.
That's awesome. That's badass,
Yeah.
dude. Was there anything like any advice that you would give for anybody that's wanting to get into content creation, whether that's YouTubing or reaction videos or I don't know, anything else people could do, like Mr. Beast style videos?
Mhm.
What type of advice would you give somebody?
Well, speaking of Mr. Beast, I mean, one piece of advice, and there's like a college 4 years worth of information that you can go watch on YouTube just for Mr. Beast. But like you said, if you really want to do content, what Mr. Beast always says is like your first 100 videos are probably going to suck ass. That's it. Like no one's going to watch your first 100 videos. And the name of the game whenever you first start is that start. And whenever you do, make a video. And then for video number 2, let me watch my video, and maybe I didn't like how I started that. Like maybe for this next video I want a better, snappier intro. And you make one decision, make one change with each and every iteration of your next uploads and try to get better, and you're competing with yourself. What I've seen where people get overwhelmed and it's like drinking from a fire hose is they'll see established creators and they're like, oh my God, that dude has 1,500 videos. He's been doing it for 7 years. He's got millions of subscribers. He's got an Instagram with clips. He's got all these things going and it's too much. And I don't know how to fucking do all that. And it's like, you don't have to. You start somewhere, you progress with each iteration. And then whenever you want to dabble into some other shit, maybe start an Instagram where you clip your videos out. You don't have to have everything buttoned up and I's dotted and T's crossed before you get started. Just start somewhere. And you mentioned Gary Vee too. I fucking love that guy. He's always like, in your 20s, do whatever the hell you want. You could wake up at 27, have $0, and you're young as fuck. Like, go experiment.
27, yeah.
And I would 100% take that same mentality with content where if you want to do reactions, make a reaction video. And if after 5 you're like, fuck this, I want to do that, like, go do that. But at the end of the day, it's just starting content. And then the next upload you do, make one change and make the video 1% better and continuously do that and grow. And you will learn. And then you see a little bit of progress, just like in the gym. You see a little bit of progress and now you're obsessed. You see the tiniest little bit of progress and you're like, fuck, man, like, let me look at how to do this while I'm editing. And you fall in love with the process. Now, I do think that it does take a special someone because content creation is not for everyone. I think anyone could do it if they're interested. But I think a lot of people play themselves and think that they're interested and turns out that they're not, which is fine. They should still try. And every business should be doing some form of social media 1,000%.
Yeah.
And if you fucking hate it, you need to hire someone to do your social media. But you cannot, that's old news. That's old news now. It's like, you gotta have social media. And now the thing is like, you will probably have to have AI. And there are people that don't even understand social media, and now AI is knocking on the door, and they don't even know how to fucking post on Instagram. And it's like,
yeah,
it's scary, the progression, dude. So, long-winded way to answer your question, where a very simple marching orders forward is to start whatever the fuck, doesn't matter, YouTube channel, Instagram account, post a video, and see how you like it. And make a small change and upload again. And then make a small change from the second and upload a third. And keep doing it. That's it.
I love it. I love it. I think you summed it up when you said your only competition is your last video. So that's it.
Yep.
Just make your next video better than your last video, and
That's
that's
it.
how you progressively get better. I love it. I love it.
And then lastly is let go of your ego and understand that you might upload some shit that gets 4 views. And if that fractures your ego and
It
that
happens.
makes you want to stop, you know what? That is evident.
happens,
That
bro.
happens. But that would be
We've
my
got this
advice.
segment on this show now that we're tailing away,
Okay.
and it's called "Who is the Smartest Entrepreneur?" Right?
Okay.
So what I do is it's very similar to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but it's not, right? I don't know
Okay.
what the copyright stuff is on that. Maybe I need to
Okay.
consult you as a lawyer. So
Yeah.
I've rather than calling it Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, we're going with Who is the Smartest Entrepreneur? Okay?
Okay.
So very similar. It's 5 multiple choice questions, A, B,
Okay.
C, D, right? Nothing like your
Bar
exam,
exam.
your bar exam. So
Yeah.
you've got your laptop, all that, but you do get 2 lifelines, right? You can only use one of the 2 lifelines on one question. It's either
Okay.
50-50 or phone a friend. So
Okay.
whichever one you like. You ready to get started?
I'm ready.
All right, cue the music. Here we go. All right, so what percentage of US lawyers end up leaving the legal profession within the first 10 years of practice? Is it
Oh.
A, 10%, B, 25%, C, 35%, or D, 50%?
Leave the profession in the first 10 years?
Yep, in the first 10 years.
10 years. Um, my thought process is 10 years that's a long ass time. Uh, a lot of people so can you read the answers one more time? 10,
It was
10%?
10%, 25%, 35%, or 50%.
I think 50% is too high. I'd say 35%. That's what I would guess.
Up. Okay. We've got a ChatGPT error here. Where are the answers?
Oh no! Oh no!
No, I got the
Damn it,
question and then
AI!
the answer.
Damn it!
And now it doesn't remember it. It's like, could you clarify? So I'm trying to ask right now. Um, I guess I'll re-ask it the questions.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
perfect. That's an easy solution. If it came up, so what I do is I take your bio, right, and I just put it in ChatGPT and I say, hey, come up with 5 multiple choice questions about their life,
Oh, that's
and it
cool.
just spits it out, right?
That's awesome.
Um, so yeah, it creates the questions and everything else. Okay, so let's start that one over.
Okay.
What percentage of U.S. lawyers end up leaving the legal profession within the first 10 years of practice? Is it A, 10%, B, 25%, C, 35%, or D, 50%?
Okay. So I'm gonna change my answer because I think the most ironic, like the most fucked up answer is probably it. It's probably 50%. I'm gonna go with
50%.
50. I'm gonna go with
And what
50%.
was your first answer? What was your first answer? Because I didn't hear I
35%.
was trying to do this. It was
My
35.
first answer was
Ooh,
35%.
okay. So D, 50%. Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Ow.
It was
You should have went with
35?
the gut, bro. It was
Damn
35.
it! Damn it!
Oh
God
man.
damn it. All right,
Yeah,
I'm just
blame
gonna go with the gut
ChatGPT,
now.
right? You got to go with your
Damn
gut.
it.
A good friend of mine, Jay Haynes, told me something the other day. He's like, always go with your gut because once you start to rationalize your gut and you feel like
It's
it's
game
right, it's
over.
wrong. Go with your
Son of a
initial
bitch.
reaction every time.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Which of the following YouTube categories consistently ranks among the most watched content? Is
Mm.
it A, gaming, B, reaction videos, C, beauty and fashion, or D, all of the above?
Wait. Wait, is the question the most viewed?
Which one consistently ranks in the among the most watched content?
Oh,
Yep.
all the above. I think it's all the above.
You think it? Are you sure? Is that your gut? No
Yeah,
lifelines, nothing
I'm
like
not
that?
sure of any of that. How many? This is 5 questions. I'm gonna use the lifeline. I'm probably gonna call Kobe, but I think for this, I have a decent idea because those are all categories on like the main trending
Yeah,
page of
one of them is your
YouTube.
category. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'd say all the above.
Okay. All the above. You got one right. There you go. One for two.
The
There
YouTube
we
answer
go.
I get right, the lawyer answer I get wrong. That's pretty
Sounds
telltale.
about right. Sounds
Yep.
about right. Okay, I've got to copy and paste these into ChatGPT now because I don't know
You
the
do your
answers.
thing, bro. I'm chilling. This is
That's
fun.
great. Great, I love it. Okay, so here's the next one. How many subscribers does a YouTube channel typically need to qualify for monetization through the YouTube Partner Program? Is it A,
A
500
thousand.
subscribers?
Thousand.
Thousand. That
I
easy?
think.
Final
I
answer
think
would
it's a.
be 1,000
I
would be
think
the
it,
next.
unless I said
Subscribers.
2,000, then that would fuck me up. What are the answer
C is
choices?
10,000
No,
subscribers. And D is 50,000 watch hours.
it is 1,000 subscribers, and you do have to
Final
have
answer.
watch time, but it's not 50,000 hours of watch
It's not
time.
50,000. Okay.
Yeah.
You're correct. There you go. You got it.
Yeah. Woo!
You got it. Getting
So that
all the
was
YouTube ones right.
so that was three. I got two more. Okay.
This is a fun one, and I don't think you're going to get this one right.
Okay.
All
I
right.
might call
Okay.
Kobe.
So we'll see. Yeah, I don't think Kobe
Other-
would know. Okay.
it's just to
All
talk
right.
shit to him.
So Hawaii is known for having the highest cost of living in the U.S.
Yep.
What is the average price of a gallon of milk in Hawaii? Is it A, $3.50,
Not that
B,
low.
$5.50, C, $7, D, $9?
So this is a question that I feel like the majority of people. I feel like I've seen $9, and I feel across the internet. But I just went shopping yesterday. I'm pretty sure it's closer to seven. I'm gonna say seven, but I think the internet would probably say nine. But my answer is seven.
All
I
right,
think
your
it's seven
answer
dollars
seven.
and
That's your
twenty
final
cents.
answer. No
That's my final answer.
lifeline, nothing
No
like that.
lifeline.
Okay, I'm actually going to read the answer to you so you get it.
Okay.
But you are correct. You got it.
It's
C
7?
is the correct answer, $7. So the average,
Yeah.
yeah, get this. The average price of a gallon of milk in Hawaii varies depending on the island and the store.
Hmm.
It ranges from $5 to $9. For
Yep.
example, in Honolulu, the average price is approximately $7.76. Therefore, among the provided options, $7 is the closest to the average price of milk in Hawaii.
Yeah. Pretty fucking
I like it.
expensive.
I like it, man.
You're living in Colorado?
Living in Colorado now. We're
What's a
uh we're
what's a
not.
gallon of what's a gallon of milk go for out there?
I don't know. I'd have to ask my wife. She buys them, right?
Okay,
It
fair
depends
enough.
on if she's shopping at Target or I don't know why people buy their groceries from Target. It's the most expensive store out there. You're gonna go buy your groceries from Target?
Hey, at
What's the
least you
deal
don't
with
have an
that?
Erewhon out there.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
It's like the LA
okay.
bougie $75 for shit. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, this one's kind of cool. What is the most watched reaction video on YouTube of all time? All right, is it A, teens react to the Harlem Shake?
Oh
B,
wow.
first time hearing Bohemian Rhapsody reaction? C, kids react to old computers. That's funny. D, elders react to Eminem. So,
I oh
you got a 50-50 or a
I
phone a friend still
I
available.
think I think elders react. I'm gonna phone a friend because I think that's good. But my answer would probably be elders react to Slipknot. I think that's got like 73
It's
million
elders
views or
react to
something like
Eminem.
that. Elders
That's
react
not
to
even on
Eminem.
there.
That's what I meant. I think that video has like 73 million views or something. But I'll phone a friend. I'm gonna call Kobe and I'm gonna talk shit because if he doesn't get it
Perfect.
right, that's pretty bad. I hope he doesn't.
Yo,
Yo,
what's up,
What's up,
donkeys?
brother? What's
I
up?
am on. Let me turn you up, Alan. I'm on a
Oh yeah, I'm in here.
podcast, and this is a little multiple choice question. Little who wants to be a large
Who is
amount
the
of money holder?
smartest
Who's
entrepreneur, right?
who's the smartest
Who's the
entrepreneur? Right?
smartest entrepreneur?
And I have phoned a friend, and you're my friend, so I would like you to answer the question. And if you get it wrong, I'm gonna be fucking pissed, and I'm not going to talk to you again.
Well, I mean,
All
he barely
right.
talks to me now, so that's not much of a loss.
All
Okay. All right.
right. What is the most watched
What's up? What's the
reaction
question? Shoot.
video? Just repeat after
Okay.
me.
It is what
So,
is the
what is the
most viewed
most
reaction video on YouTube?
Oh my
teens
God, why
react to
would you call
Harlem
me? I
Shake?
don't know this.
Well, give it your best fucking guess, dude. Teens
Jesus
react to
Christ.
Harlem Shake. That's A.
First time hearing Bohemian Rhapsody reaction.
First time hearing Bohemian Rhapsody.
Kids react to old computers,
Kids react to old computers.
or elders react to Eminem.
Or elders react to Eminem.
Oh my God.
And don't fuck this up, because I've gotten 4 out of 5 right. And if I go down to 3 out of 5, that's some lackluster shit that you would probably have. And I don't want to be in the same category as your mental bandwidth and capacity. So get it right.
Well, I'm going to eliminate. I'm going to say it's either the Bohemian Rhapsody one or the Eminem one.
Okay. And your answer would be what? Damn it!
Eminem.
Answer
And my
it!
little boy just fell.
Oh.
I was thinking Eminem. Well,
See,
you
look
get to
at that. You're
answer it,
putting
Hefner.
pressure on me.
It's up to you.
Oh,
If
I
you
know. I just
remember
want to know
how
what
this
his
goes.
final answer would be.
Okay.
You're okay, buddy. You're tough.
He didn't answer it, which
I
is
think he
fine
was
because
leaning towards C, but I don't know. He
he
said B or D.
he was tending to his child, which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say it is going to be D. Elders react to Eminem.
All right. And that's your final answer.
Final answer. No,
All
it's the
right.
computers. It's the computers.
No, it's the Harlem Shake.
It's
Teens
the
react
Harlem
to the Harlem
Shake.
Shake. Yeah. Hey, blame ChatGPT. Yeah, they're coming up with this. It says, and there's a long answer it provided. It said, determining the most watched reaction video on YouTube is challenging due to the platform's vast and ever-evolving content. However, among the provided options, teens react to Harlem Shake is a noticeable choice. The Harlem Shake phenomenon, it was by the Fine brothers, which garnered significant attention. While the exact view counts for reaction videos can fluctuate and may not always be publicly available, this one stands out.
Yeah, the Fine Brothers. I think they
Mhm.
also put out the Elders React to Eminem. They do a lot of those reactions.
Um,
Damn it! All right, well, 3 out of 5, not bad. Son of a
5,
bitch.
not that bad. Man, well, it was a pleasure having you on the show. How do anybody get a hold of you and buy from you, right? How do they go watch your videos? How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, man. On YouTube, just type in Alex Hefner. Alex Hefner, and a
There you
bunch
go.
of videos will pop up. Whatever you want to click on, I would be more than appreciative if you go watch a video. That'd be awesome.
There we
But
go.
yeah,
There we
it was
go.
such a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for having me on. This was fun.
No, it was a blast. It's so much knowledge. Like to me, my I don't want to say, I mean, I saw a huge change in my life, in my business life, when I was able to take a zoom out and realize that business principles are universal and realize
Yeah.
that no matter what business you're in, everything still applies. And I guess that's one of my real goals of this podcast is to be able to show people that whatever you're in, whatever circumstance you're in life, whatever you're trying to do, if you could learn from Alex Hefner on how he's been successful in his life, then take that and apply that to your own life, whatever your business is, and you can be successful. Hopefully, it's watching movies and TVs online because that's not the best job in the world, right? But
It's
all
a
right,
blessing,
brother.
man.
Thanks again for on the show, man.
Always, bro. Anytime, man.